Hey guys, Erie is here and welcome along to another video. We're here after seems like ages for the opening round of the new FIA Manufacturer Series season. Now, if you're going to comment on the bad, which a lot of us YouTube creators do, then you've got to be balanced and make sure that you comment and acknowledge the good stuff as well. And this first round of the new FIA season was set up perfectly. It had everything. It had a good track, a good car class being the Manufacturer Series, a good length, all tyres available and crucially required. Fuel was a factor as well. It was like an actual real life race and I was buzzing for it. So in this one we're back in the Lexus as well, which makes things even better at Interlagos, one of my favourite tracks for this, the first round of the new FIA season. So let's get into it. So you join me here in the quali lobby. As you can see, it's just been revealed. But before we get into that, as always, let's just take a couple of moments to remind ourselves to like the video if you like the video, and make sure, now as you know this is very important, that you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. We're just over about 100 subs away from 29,000 now, so if you're watching but aren't subscribed and want to help us meet that milestone, please go down and hit that subscribe button now. And because we're in the GT cars, we're running with the Fanatec Podium Porsche 911 GT3R wheel today. So if you want to know, well, pretty much everything that I use I think is in the description down below, so go check that out. And also let me know in the comment section what you thought of this opening round. Was it too much to think about, or were you happy with the challenge of all the fuel, all the tyres, etc, etc, and let me know how you got on compared with how I got on. So back to quali then, we're here on our outlap. We've got 5 minutes here, so just enough for an outlap and then a quick one. But you probably would have had a choice to do 2, or a chance to do 2 if you got out the pits first. But as usual, I was one of the last ones out, so no second attempt for us. I was quick in pre-race practice. I was doing a mid 129, which was about a second off the top 10 times. We also entered this race with 58 I should say, K drive rating. We ended up gaining about 8k in between the end of last season and this one, so we're in a good position here. So setting up positioning for our fast lap, our only shot at a fast lap, we're going to drop back a little bit further than you'd usually expect from the Porsche up in front. Now I know that I'm quicker through the middle section, especially with this Lexus, so I didn't want to get held up, and that's exactly, as you're going to see here, how it paid out. So we're going to stay on board here for our quick lap here at Interlagos, an amazing track, one of my favourites as I say, and we're set a little bit further back from the Porsche. So looking for around the 60 metre mark, we're going to come all the way down to first gear. A quick flick up to second, cut the second part of the centre rest there, and then just keep it as tight as you can without losing the back end through this corner here. Then you've got the run down to turn number 4. We're going to look for the escape road on the right, braking just after that and coming down to second. Be careful not to run wide here, because a horrendous little off-camber bit, you'll also get a penalty. But we navigated that, we are all good. Someone's right behind us, but we're not that quick through this bit. Or the last bit I should say, is this bit where we're going to start picking up speed, as you're going to see. Big braking zone here, cut the corner there. I'd like to really see track limits there, but it is what it is and you've got to play by the rules. So we're going to cut it. We're going to be right up here with the Porsche now. You can see there's a little bit of understeer here, then treated with a little bit of oversteer off the back of that, but we're where we wanted to be. We're now in the slipstream, or will be at least, after we come out of this final corner, which is such a difficult corner. You've got to be really patient to get the power down. Be careful not to run wide and make your way down into downtown Sao Paulo. And now it's just a case of running to the line. You can see here we're stuck in the slipstream, so we're catching. If we were going to go for another lap, it would be a nightmare, but it's not, because this is going to be one and done, and we're going to come across the line with a 1 minute 29.951, which, as you're going to see here, was good enough for 5th, which I was quite happy with, to be quite honest, because even though I was car number 1, which means I had the highest DR in the lobby, that had recently gone up through all the work that I was doing in the daily races, and there were some quick drivers in here, some of the guys that I raced with day to day, so I knew that they were on point. So I did change, one thing that you didn't see is the change to the mediums. So the strategy for this one is going to be mediums till lap number 7, softs till lap number 14, and then hards all the way till we get home. Now you're going to see here that we're just going to try and settle down. That's all we do. I mean, you can see up there the Alpha is in a bit of a rush already, but I'm not interested in any of that. I'm just going to stay behind here in the slip where I can and save some fuel, because what's going to be tough is getting to lap 14 without refueling. That is going to be tough, but that's the aim, and we're going to try and do that, because this race is going to just be so tight. Every single litre counts. So we're going to see here, look at the Alpha. I told you he was in a rush. He's going to barge his way through and then lob it up the inside of the Hyundai there, the Portuguese, some Spanish on Portuguese paint there. And we're really just going to sit in the slipstream, shifting early, lifting and coasting into corners, but we're going to see here that we're beginning to catch up a little bit too much to the guy in front. The Portuguese guy is obviously doing the same thing, but we can only stomach that for so long. You can see where the Alpha was going there. He was getting a Briglog. You can see him just over in front there. So we're going to make our move here. The Hyundai is not going to fight it either. And, well, up into 4th we go. Not really too much to say there. What we need to do is to balance between saving fuel and not losing too much time. So I just had to make that move. And what I don't want to do is drag these guys along behind me. So I need to push a little bit harder here, rev things out a little bit more, and try and break the toe. So moving to lap number 5 here, through the centre S's, we finally got a second between us. The gap in front is coming down as well too, but the tyres are starting to go off. Remember, we're coming in at the end of lap number 7, so we're towards the end of the stint. So I'm going to try and maintain that gap without burning too much fuel or mullering our tyres, because they're needed for a couple more laps. The Italian there, you're going to see on the Delta, is going to come in off of their soft, so we're up to 3rd now. But what I love about these multipliers, there's so many different strategies. For us, it was time to come in, and we're going to get rid of these mediums and onto the softs. So both cars ahead are going to come in as well. As you can see, I don't remember it being this long, but it was a mega long pit lane. So the cutscene here just takes absolutely ages. But what was good was the guys in front were on the faster compound, and we've still got the fastest to come that we're going to go on to right about now. Next pit stop is on lap 14, so we're going to need 7 laps of fuel, which we didn't have, so I spent a few extra tenths of a second putting in a lap or so of extra fuel. And that was crucial, because it made a long pit stop even longer, and now we come out inside of, I think it's a Citroen. I think it's a Citroen anyway, but we're inside here. But we really need to hold on to this position, because we're on the softest compound now, as I say, and we're going to be on these for the next 7 laps. So I'm going to keep the inside here and just not let anybody through. I didn't want to let the Jag through, I didn't want to let the Citroen through. I think it was a Citroen anyway, and well, we made it happen, so we were all good and we were on our way. And you can see from the gap behind that it was the right thing to do. As we jump ahead here to the end of lap number 13, about to start lap number 14, we've done a good job. We've maintained the gap behind, and we actually caught up to the group in front, and we're only now 5 seconds around that away from the leader. The 2 cars that you saw there came in, so we're up to 3rd, but our tyres are absolutely ruined. Thankfully though, this is our in-lap. So all we really need to do at this point is keep it on the black stuff and bring this thing in safely. Because then we've got 6 more laps, and then that's all we've got. Then it's homeward bound. So you can see me working on the wheel here. To recap so far, things have gone okay. We came in after starting the race on mediums on lap 7. We had to do a little bit of refueling, but again, not too much problem. It didn't cost us too much time, and then we jumped onto the softs for this second stint, crucial second stint. It was important to keep those 2 cars at bay that we came out in front of at the end of our second pit stop, and things have just kind of progressed from there. But this is really where we're struggling here, and this is where we're most vulnerable. We're really struggling at this point. As you can see, I'm really working the wheel just to get this thing through the tight corners, so even on the lesser tight corners this thing still wants to spin on us. We're almost out of the woods here. We've only got to come through this particularly tricky final corner, one I can just never get right, and we have just got to make our way to the pit entrance now, which should be fairly easy. We've done a good job here with the fuel. As we enter the pits here, you can see that we've got 3% left. The two up in front are going to come in as well. They're going to get off their mediums, and unfortunately my maths is going to desert me again. I think we've got 7 laps left when it's only actually 6. I add 1 just to be, to be super conservative and as a bit of a contingency, because I never trust that diamond, which gives us 8. So that ended up being a lap worth more than I need. But you know my maths, it's not my strong point. 3 plus 3 equals 9 and all that. And unfortunately in a properly strategic race like this, every second matters. And as a result we're going to come out a little bit further down than we would have hoped, in 8th place. We come out in relatively clean air. You can see up ahead the Greek driver that we've been messing with before has come out in front. But we're on the final part of this race now. We're in the 3rd stint. We've got the 2 quicker compounds out the way, and now we just need to try and consolidate this as much as possible on these hard tyres. But that's going to be easier said than done. Keep your eye on the radar here, as coming into the tight right, the Spaniard is just going to come from downtown. Throw it up the inside, and we're going to relinquish, putting us down to 9th place. Not ideal, but I think, as I say, it's just damage limitation at this point. But the Portuguese driver is going to follow suit as well. The double dive bomb puts me down into 10th place. Well, to be fair, they weren't the worst I've ever seen, so I think dive bombs is being a bit unfair. Robust is probably the better word to use. But either way, we're down to 10th place. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure how this has happened, and everything has started to unravel. Up ahead here on lap number 16, we're going to continue to see the Portuguese guy and the Spaniard making moves, but then the Spaniard's going to come in, which is going to promote us up to 9th place. And whilst we've got 3 guys up in front, the pressure is still going to come from behind. So coming through the Senores here, keep your eye on the radar. We can see that we're under some pressure here from, I think, the Hungarian. I don't know if my geography has left me or not, but either way, we don't want to let him pass. So I'm going to move to the inside here. As I say, we're in the consolidation phase of this race, and we want to defend pretty much everything. We'll just about get it stopped there. Be careful not to go over there onto the apex and end up going off down the undulating bit of the track. But we managed to survive, which is the main thing. We live to fight another day. This is really, really difficult, this part on the hards. You can see here up in front, Jackal is struggling as well. So I'm hoping, whilst to defend behind, which there's 2 people on the radar now to defend from, we want to try and also not forget that we want to move up. I look for a move up the inside here, but there isn't really too much on. And now keep your eye on the radar once more, because if you can't go round me, there's an easier way to do it. Just bump into me. So we're going to get bumped from behind here, which forces us to go wide out of the final corner. I mean, it's hard enough as it is, and he's going to be alongside because we went wide on exit. Now, I'm really trying to hold on to the slipstream of this Jag, but just the way the racing line is, he's going to give it to the guy next to me. And now, keep your eye on the radar, I'm just going to get absolutely monstered by both those drivers, and down to 11th we go. Now, I'm going to try and put up a fight here, as much of a fight as I can, but I just really don't know if we've got the tyres for it. I find myself on the outside here, which isn't going to help. We do get a bit of slipstream though, so we're going to be pulling alongside. You keep your eye on the radar once more, and you can see we're actually ahead coming into turn number 4, but he's got the inside line, and there's really nothing we can do. Just look though, on the positive side, even though we're going backwards, how close it is after 30 minutes of racing. Now, as we come across the line here to start the final lap, the Jag is going to put his indicator on. He knows the game is up. He's struggling on tyres as much as us, and he lets us through, as though we're up to 10th place again. And that was going to be the way it was going to end. Even though we had a run here on the Volkswagen front, it just wasn't going to be enough. We run out of time, and we come across the line to take 10th place. Now, so not a great result. 4 seconds, split many cars, so not really too concerned about that, but 10th wasn't what I was hoping for in this one. What has been great though is the way that they kicked off the FIAs with this combination. A great start. We're going to collect our 177 points here, but as I said in the intro, it doesn't really matter because it actually felt like a real race. Finally, they got one right, and I had a great time in this one, and loads of others said it was good as well. So overall, I gained 2 driver rating points, so no real damage done, and we can start concentrating on the next round, which I believe is at Dragon Trail Gardens for a change. So I will see you guys in that one. And for now, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. But as I say, I hope you enjoyed that one, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.